Hello, hello, hello. Welcome now. Stock trades. In this video, we're going to go ahead and talk about some market updates, a couple of really cool, interesting facts regarding Clover Health, and just a couple of housekeeping things, all right, that we need to get cleared up. So this Saturday, for our private Discord members as well as our Mastering Stock Market students, we're going to have our first part of our bi-monthly meeting series on Saturday at 1 p.m. Central. Okay. You can find it in the exclusive daily briefings channel. We're going to be using our internalized Discord, voice chat, and Zoom. And this, we're just going to talk about the expectations and pretty much start of what we're going to be doing. Like, for example, you tell me what stocks you want to look at. We'll go ahead and break it down. Not only will you be able to be familiarizing yourself with the platform, I believe it will be definitely helpful in that regards for other things. On the other side, we are going to make more tutorial videos to essentially help this really just mega information that we have. I asked for some feedback within our group, and they said, make like the top 10, top 15 commands that you need for every company that you explore. And I believe that's definitely important. Also, we do have a sale going on with the mastering course. The coupon code is Don't Give Up. It'll give you $200 off. We just increased prices, and we're going to continue increasing prices as we develop and add more to this lifetime access of data. So in that regards, I'm trying to see if there's anything else with housekeeping. If not, if I remember anything, I'll let you know. But that's all I have. Now, let's talk about the housing right now. So housing actually rebounded in the month of August. And the reason why it rebounded was because of rents boosted. Now, how many of you guys had your rents increased recently? Well, a lot of it's bouncing up because it's starting to get a lot of people that bought homes in 2021 to flip them in 2022. They're basically stuck holding the bag. I mean, if you're in Arizona, just go onto your Zillow and you'll basically see all these folks trying to drop the price of their house. And then it's gotten to a point that no one wants to buy because we broke over 6% on the 30-year fixed mortgage. In fact, it was an average of 6.02% literally last week. So that's a big deal, right? So we haven't seen such an increase in the 30-year fixed mortgage since 2008. But let me just tell you something. Let's say, for example, you got like, 10, 20 million dollars, $100 million, and you're guaranteed 6% on your money. What are you going to be doing as an investor? I would rather loan out my money at this percentage rather than investing in the market right now because the risks versus reward benefit. So that's where we're seeing a lot of money right now parked. Money's parked either at the Federal Reserve, getting somewhat of a return on investment until the market cycles essentially cool down. I believe, was it Citadel? One of the banks, Goldman Sachs. I read it. I didn't write it down, but please do your due diligence. But this is the fact: they just got sued for manipulating the VIX. If you guys don't know what VIX is, it's the volatility index, and a lot of folks use it to basically determine how much fear is in the market. What they do is they buy a certain amount of let's say options or a certain amount of quantity that artificially spikes up the VIX, which will then cause day traders to buy puts, essentially market manipulation. And what they do is they buy a bunch, but they don't actually buy it. So then it basically hurts the market. It scares retail investors, which is why I always tell and teach my students, and we're going to slowly be updating the course here to include the video formats to the fundamental analysis section, is that you cannot determine the stock price as the overall value of the company. You have to go ahead and actually determine the intrinsic value. Now, In terms of layoffs, so the FOMC meeting is today. I'm going to be listening to it. I recommend you do as well. We can go ahead and debrief after. Things that I'm going to be looking at is the GDP projections and also obviously the federal funds rate, which is in conjunction when you take the 10-year minus the federal funds rate, which is the same thing of taking the 10-year minus the 2-year, which will most likely, as that increases, show an inverted yield curve, which obviously signifies some form of a future recession, which we technically have not hit yet due to this labor market being very hot. However, we are seeing that Best Buy, Ford, and Walmart and Wayfair have already announced layoffs. And, we should expect more layoffs to happen within the 12-month cycle, starting from today. And the federal chairman Jerome Powell, is not giving up on inflation and will continue raising interest rates until inflation is met with. And most likely, he's probably comfortable with an unemployment rate anywhere between 4 to 5%. Once it gets to an unemployment rate of 6%, then we're going to go ahead and, Jerome is, Mr. Powell is going to experience some pain, okay? And a lot of political pullback to basically stop. Porsche is going to IPO on September 29. It's Europe's largest public listing in years. It raised around $9.4 billion, which basically puts the sports automaker, at around $78 billion. Now, from my personal experience, usually there's a run-up that you can trade for IPO, but it's always met with a downturn. Just be careful. IPOs tend to go up high and drop down low, and then you can go in and go into them. I would give you some knowledge. Go look up Uber IPO and Lyft, and you'll understand. And that's all I have for you on. There's obviously more news, but I want to condense it down of things that I'm looking at. There's other things that I want to talk to you about, but I want to just condense this here. So let's talk about Clover right now, because I really want to really show you this here. So if we go ahead and talk about Clover right now, I went ahead and averaged down. I really am enjoying these prices. Think of, if you put in 10 grand right now, it's like putting in 10 grand. It's like putting in $45,000 to $50,000 at a $10 average price, right? So it's like you're getting these shares for free. Okay, literally. It's like you're paying for the growth for free here. And what we're starting to see is dumb money's being shaken out. Smart money's confidence in increasing. Smart money is buying at the same time shorting the market so they can buy at a lower price, okay? Which is why we're starting to see that. Out of the I don't know the exact percentage, but if you were to look at all the FOMC meetings 30 minutes before the drop, 30 minutes before the news, the market tanks a little, okay? And then you can trade that. So there's going to be a lot of day traders. This is like the Super Bowl for the financial, people that are trading stocks. It's like the Super Bowl, and you can make tons of money because the volume is going to just be insane. Okay. I personally believe Chairman Powell is going to be giving a 75 basis point rate hike. People think that they're going to give more. I don't think so, because he'll shock the markets. But if he does, it would be the right thing to do, to be quite frankly honest. Now let's talk about Clover here. So there's something that, and by the way, our group members are so smart. I mean, they are just amazing. Okay. We have this person here called Rabdo, and he brought this to our attention here regarding how the profit of the CEO's interests basically is in line with the shareholders. So you can go ahead and read this for yourself and pause the video. But essentially what it's saying, at a certain time point within 90 consecutive days, there's certain levels of criteria that need to be met in order for Mr. Gerdapali to be awarded 7.1 million shares. And that is, the stock price has to be $25 for 90 days or more, and other, there's like different sections of how much he can cash out. And then if he, waits longer within the 5-year horizon, if the stock price closes at $30 for 90 consecutive days over the 5 years from January 7th of 2021, so by January 2026, he will essentially be able to cash in these awarded Class B common stock. So this basically falls in line with our intrinsic value calculation at around a growth rate of anywhere between 32 to 37%. This is great. Now, do I think Clover has the potential of going higher? Of course, I really do. But if you look at it, and if you look at the mathematics here, let's just assume $25, okay? $25 and the stock is trading at $2.20. That's $22.8. 22.8 divided by 2.2. That's 10.36 multiplied by 100. That is 1,000% return on your money at $25. And we're going to be even higher if it goes to 30. So what does that tell you? That's a 10x return on your investment. A 10x return. Now you go find me something that does 10x. Will gold give you 10x? No, it's falling because the Federal Reserve is hitting inflation hard, and the dollar is getting stronger with all these issues that we're having, which basically decreases the value of gold. So, and also gold is manipulated in price. We're not going to go there. That's a whole can of worms there with what the governments have been doing with gold, but that's a whole can of worms. But overall, guys, I'm very bullish on Clover. I'm extremely bullish on them, and I want to see what their growth rates are going to be for 2023. I want to see when they are going to become free cash flow positive. But I also want you to remind yourself, once it does reach the $25 plus mark, I want you to remind yourself, for all the people that are the original gainsters, the OGs of Clover, I want you to use this as a learning lesson, because you can't really learn this for paper trading. How much crap did all of us get as they downgraded the company quarter after quarter, regardless if it was a success? Okay. Just think about that. Okay. And use that as a form of education. Sorry, some knock on the door here. Let me go ahead and do a Q&A, and we'll go in and conclude the meeting. Good morning. Good morning. What do you think about SoFi? Well, definitely after the elections, I believe the administration will no longer effectively postpone the payments for these loans. But the ideal is the only people that are really going to refinance are the ones with variable interest rates that do not really know. They want it fixed, right? But there are some folks with a fixed 4 or 5%. And if a fixed rate now is 9-10%, I think SoFi's business is technically going to be affected by just that sliver. But when it comes to transparency and when it comes to the new generation, I definitely believe SoFi has a big, really big market share to take on. And I really think it is going to be a wonderful opportunity. I will have to redo my fundamental analysis, and we can make a separate video regarding that. Okay. Clover Health on sale. Absolutely. It's on sale. I think a sale is an understatement. I think it's free. You know what I mean? I think it's free. This is just ridiculous. Right. And I'm not mad. I've never been so happy. Okay. If rates go up, doesn't that mean banks will win? Of course, absolutely. Which is why Warren Buffett bought a bunch of bank stocks before before this happened, right? Okay. Rates go up. Amazon announcing number warehouse not to open and even closing someone operational. So why am I so certain Clove can turn a profit? Well, that's a good question. They're slowly decreasing their cash burn. Their MCRs are improving, which is the medical loss ratio. They're in line with the CMS protocol regarding diversity and social determinants of health. They are really in line with the fact that we are going to have an increase in the geriatric population of patients over 65 years of age. About 10,000 every day are turning that age. And unfortunately, I just spoke to a geriatric physician, and she's been doing this for 20 years plus. And she said that unfortunately, our geriatric population is going to go down in terms of a lot of, because unhealthy eating, the pandemic, Uber Eats, all these different types of things that are happening, and the less activity, the age group and the amount of chronic disease in the elderly is going to go up significantly. Okay. Do you think anything special in the annual stockholders? Do you think? Well, I don't. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't have any insider information about what they're going to have, but they always like. Hello, hello, hello. So I'm back. Sorry about that. My internet connection just shut off, and it had to just reboot. I don't know why. First time here. Let's see. Well, for sure. What do you think about Ape? So in terms of Ape is just another dilution factor for AMC to essentially be able to raise capital to survive any upcoming issues that they may have to pay off debts. If you go ahead, I recommend reading their investor report on the Twitter page that Mr. AA talked about. So we'll talk a little bit more about Ape, but just remember, AMC and Ape are not fundamental plays. Fundamentally, they are worth less than $5. Maybe $6-7, right? Less than that, right? Less than 10 if you do AMC and Ape fundamentally, because if you look at the fundamentals, you'll see. But from the short squeeze perspective, the shorts have not covered yet, and that's really the only worth of AMC. That's its only worth, right? And then 1% Fed rate surprise, maybe, and if that will definitely tank the market for sure, which is great. Did Al get canceled? Oh yeah, no, I it sounded like it, right? Starting to look at uranium stocks for short term. Well, yeah, uranium has been definitely on an uptrend. Now imagine with nuclear war, right? Why market green today? So the reason why the market is green is historically right before the FOMC meeting, we're just betting that we're betting the Federal. It's a great bet to place because we're betting that the Federal Reserve is essentially going to keep their 75 basis point rate hike and basically conclude that maybe there's going to be a Fed pivot in the near future, which is exactly what the Wall Street's basically concluding, a Federal Reserve Fed pivot. So that's pretty much what I personally bought more Clove. 500 totaling. Okay. You're coming close. You're coming close to me. You're getting, well, all right. Actually, we have someone in our group that has over 100,000 shares. I think 180,000 shares. Which definitely is over my count. So definitely my goal is to have over 125K, 125,000 shares, right? Because definitely, and just sell half at around the target price and let the other half ride, right? But there's some folks who are just going to keep this for retirement. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's pretty much a lot of people that are in our group. We have definitely a lot of, they just understand the fundamentals of the company. They understand where this is going. For Clover Health, one of our groups, I didn't even look at this. They're going deep into the company, which is great. Clover just did an investment on a pet insurance company, and we're basically speculating why, and perhaps maybe they could be giving their Clover Assistant to the pet insurance company to make sure they decrease their MCRs. That would be interesting, right? And that's the beautiful part about software, because I don't doubt it the least. It could happen. It's just a couple of codes, right? Now, for some housekeeping things that we need to basically reiterate, we are going to be doing the start of our bi-monthly meeting. It'll just be the start of September, this Saturday at 1 p.m. Central Time on our private Discord, where essentially you guys will give me stocks, we'll vote on them, and then we'll go ahead and analyze them. And we'll, at the same time, use the platform to help with understanding the platform. Number 2, we are having a coupon code down below, which is Don't Give Up, for $200 off. We're slowly increasing the price for the Mastering Stock Market course, which includes lifetime access to our stock alerts and obviously the course and the intrinsic value calculations within the alstocktrades.com website. 3, we're going to be creating tutorial videos, and once we go ahead and finish off Brain Machine, we've pretty much basically removed a lot of unnecessary, I would not say fluff, but channels that weren't really being used a lot, to make the user interface a lot easier for our students and members. We're also going to be updating Brain Machine to its the capabilities are going to it's going to do a lot. Okay, you're going to have so much, it's going to be done. It's going to be amazing. You can use our platform on your phone, but I personally use it on the computer as like a Bloomberg terminal, because if you are a serious day trader, swing trader, or even investor, you would want to use a computer to do your analysis. Dr. Michael Burry, The Big Short, he won't use a phone just for the simple things, but not for intensive due diligence. Like if you're going to be plowing millions of dollars in a company, I would recommend you use not even just one screen, but 3 screens, right? Right? 2 is good, right? But that's all I have for you folks. This was a longer live than what I wanted, but was disconnected and I thought it was over, but I'm going to end it right now. And then we'll go ahead and reconglomerate after the FOMC meeting. So enjoy your Super Bowl finance Wednesday, right? And we'll see what happens with the market. And by the way, I did buy more today for Clover. I mean, it's a no-brainer.